Okay, we're in here. I was speaking in the previous part about how it is that it was really super weird how it is that some colleague girl got into the organization and she ended up costing my entire career. I gave her a chance when nobody else would, and I then ended up being the thing that was booted out on her behalf. She was wrong and everybody knew she was wrong, and I lost my future over this girl. Anyway, so this chickie, everybody ended up taking her side in a very weird way, right? She was disliked and the bane of everybody's existence up to a certain point. She entered into the job, according to some girl who works at HR, in some strange mashiga way. Apparently, allegedly, according to their gossip, her dad paid someone off because her dad knew some dude from MTN and was like pulling a favor for my daughter, whatever. But it was a combination of sorcery and perhaps some what's this, unsavory business practices. And I know that it's sorcery. I found out ultimately that it was sorcery that pushed this chick's agenda along, because of the nightmare that I got in the run up to losing my whole career over this girl. I got nightmares of me being in a swimming pool, drowning, with her sitting at the ledge of the swimming pool, unprepared to come and rescue me. I got nightmares of her wearing my clothes, my outfits, my dresses that I wore in the office. She would be rocking them. She'd be rocking my shoes. So basically jealousy and transference of my destiny on her. I got dreams of me being in meetings, do you understand? Where my projects were being discussed and I was giving an answer for my projects, and yet my colleagues in the room were like, no, Garabo, I'm not happy with the answer that you're giving me. Let's say her name was Rarara. Let's rather listen to what Rarara has to say about your project. Like my project, like I would be talking about my project issues, and people would not listen to me and want to seek counsel about my project from another project manager who was Rarara. For the life of me, these nightmares, I would keep on communicating them to her, because remember I told you we were friends. I told her, I was like, Rarara girl, hey, I had this funny dream about you. You know, she was an Indian girl. I was like, I had this funny dream about you. But you know, yeah, and every time I would communicate the dreams to her, she would just brush them off or something, whatever. I don't know, and do that, and just like totally brush them off like really quickly. So at that stage, I never knew what my dreams meant. I didn't know what witchcraft looks like in dreams. I just used to get the dreams, but I couldn't understand them. Okay, very well. Then, however, after losing everything, the Lord trained me. Like all of my education in Christ and in understanding the things of what's going on in this world spiritually, I was given much of it, demonic attack and whatnot, once I lost everything, because I had all this time on my hands. I'm not going to a 9 to 5, focusing on other things, and I had to try and figure out what's going on with me. And then eventually light bulb moments just kind of hit me once I was unemployed and desperate and persecuted and really going through it, right? At the time, I had no clue that that's what was going on. I was just getting horrible nightmares about this girl almost every night. Anyway, lost everything, eventually found out that Rarara was into sorcery. So now it all made sense. How it is that a rational, sober female like my former boss would just recruit this like silly girl, this little fishy on the floor that is flapping about with no actual oxygen in its lungs because it's been taken out of the ocean. Couldn't understand why my boss recruited her, but my boss recruited her. Likely also because of some shiga, underhanded, unsavory business practices where wickedness was just being proliferated on behalf of a person that does not deserve a job. So combo of Boloyi with just a general corruption of spirit is what got this Rarara chick a job that she did not earn or deserve. Anyway, whatever, right? Now, Rarara stole my entire future. Or at least like that job that I had, or at least what she thinks would be the theft of my future. I am covered by Jesus, guys. I had to go through these things that I might explain how these things work. I'm literally at this point for such a time as this to explain the intricacies of the occult kingdom, that you might know how it's just not worth it in the end. And I'm like tying in points across multiple parts. So I'm really hoping you're following me chronologically, that we might get to some nice little conclusion in the end. Urarara, obviously was into sorcery. She had messed up with my future, even though we were friends. So betrayal, whatever. Matthew 24, men will betray one another, so it's expected. Type establishment thing. But I digressed from the story of the initial guy that I was telling you about, using the story of Rarara so that you can understand how how the kingdom of darkness works when people go and consult mediums, spiritists, disango, whatever, in order to get what they want. They have to steal it from somewhere. So the stability of Rarara in an organization that recruited her despite her having no experience for a particular job had to be maintained by her continually or consistently stealing the futures of other people in the ecosystem. She had to maintain herself in that environment by basically drinking the blood of other people, if you know what I mean. She had to keep it up in theft, murder, and destruction, because that's what Satan does. He steals, he kills, and he destroys. So this chick had to constantly kill to maintain, because Satan cannot provide ex nihilo. The devil cannot give you a good and a perfect gift, for that only is from the Father of heavenly lights, who is above. He cannot produce for you fruit that will be lingering, everlasting, going into the future. He cannot maintain stability and consistency in a person's life, so they have to keep on sacrificing and sacrificing and sacrificing and sacrificing. So you end up becoming a bandit, like just this guilty person walking around, utwele on your shoulders, the souls of many men and women, the futures, the destinies, the legacies of many men and women. You end up literally just the serial killer in the spirit, but not one that's caught, but one that also looks like Ted Bundy, because outwardly you're very handsome, you look really good, and so people don't suspect you, and that's how you continue to get away with murder. But there is one who sees all. Can anyone hide from his presence? Of course not. Of course not. Who can hide from the presence of the Most High? Absolutely nothing. No one. Zero, hollow, naught, and ash. Alright? Now, Rarara, this Chiquita, her theft of my particular destiny has enabled me to understand many of all of the things that are happening across my country, across the world, and even in my own personal life. How it is that a intelligent woman with so much giftedness and so much energy and spunk and a bright-eyed and bushy-tailed zeal for life can be dying, going nowhere, stranded, stuck, hitting brick walls, unable to escape this enclosure, this little jail cell that I've been put in. How someone with an entire future can literally have nothing to look forward to. It is theft, a transference of power, and people in the occult can validate this if at all they're honest with themselves, or people who have repented from the occult can confirm this. Now that they're in Christ, they can say, yes, Karabo, I agree with you. Abantu bajonja amastas, they steal people's future, they steal literally like little bite-sized portions of people's futures. Now, I'm a daughter of God, and so therefore nobody can truly steal from me. I thoroughly believe, like Job, that God has put me in this for my season of testing, for if anybody wants to live a life in Christ, that will suffer persecution. So I'm going through my season of testing, and after suffering for a little while, the God of all grace will restore me to everything that I might lack in nothing. But I had to go through this and deal with a whole bunch of nonsense in the occult, do you understand? To explain to those who don't know Christ why they need Jesus, and also to explain those who are in the occult why this stuff ultimately leads them into a nebulous vortex within which they are twisting, that they literally barely escape. Most of them struggle to get out because of the consumption of demons that they have to continuously bring into their systems over time, just to maintain a basic level of stability, with the demonic acquisitions that they gained. It's absolutely ridiculous. All right, let's go into the next part.